A very good morning, guys. Today we are going to discuss about the next virus in DNA virus. Last video we saw about herpes simplex virus. Now we will see about the next virus in herpes virus family itself, that is varicella zoster virus. Yeah. Now the herpes virus simian B virus. It is very similar to herpes simplex virus. Okay. It infects the old world monkeys in a similar manner to the herpes simplex virus. The human cases can be acquired through the bite of the monkey or through handling of monkey tissue. Generally, the human cases are very fatal in these type of virus. And both the virus, that is herpes simplex virus as well as herpes virus simian B virus, both are antigenically related. But the antibody of herpes simplex virus does not protect against the herpes virus simian. Are we understanding? That is, the antibody of your herpes simplex virus HSV will not protect against this B virus. Clear? Now we move on to the varicella zoster virus. As we learned from the classification of herpes virus family, it, its official name is human herpes virus 3. Okay, and it belongs to the alpha subfamily. This is a characteristic and classification of varicella zoster virus. And this varicella causes chickenpox. This is a primary infection, whereas the herpes zoster causes shingles. This is a recurrent infection that is due to reactivation of the virus. Now, this is a pathogenesis of varicella zoster virus. Humans are the only known reservoir of varicella zoster virus, and the primary infection, that is the chickenpox, occurs. That is the transmission through respiratory route or through conjunctiva. Okay, the recurrent infection, how it occurs during the primary infection itself, the virus will infect your dorsal root ganglion, and that is the place where the virus remains latent. Now in our body, when the immunity wanes, that is when immunity decreases, what happens is that this virus will be reactivated, and this reactivation of the virus will travel from the dorsal root ganglia through the sensory nerves to affect your skin. In the skin, it will cause your zoster infection. Clear? This is a pathogenesis. See, a varicella, it remains in latency in dorsal root ganglion and it causes zoster infection. This is a primary infection, remains latent in dorsal root ganglion, and it causes, after reactivation of virus, it causes zoster infection in the skin. Okay. Now coming to the clinical manifestations of chickenpox. Okay, this is a primary infection. It is a highly contagious disease and infects in children who are under the age group of 5 to 9 years. Okay, and this chickenpox incubation period is 10 to 21 days. That is, the varicella's incubation period is 10 to 21 days, and the patient become infectious 48 hours prior to vesicular rash. Until all the vesicles are crusted, they will remain infectious. Clear? Understanding? That is, 48 மணி நேரம் இந்த disease வரதுக்கு முன்னாடியே they will be infectious. After எல்லா vesicles crusted ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் they will remain non-infectious. Until then they will be infectious. Clear? And the most common site of extracutaneous involvement in children is CNS. Okay, and the varicella pneumonia is the most serious complication occurring in adults. Okay, and the other most common infectious complication is your secondary bacterial superinfection on the skin due to Streptococcus pyogenes or Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, and skin lesions of this chickenpox include maculopapules like this, ulcer, blister, as well as scabs, vesicles, etc. Okay, and the perinatal varicella is associated with very high mortality rate, and it is acquired when the mother is acquiring the disease 5 days prior to delivery or within 48 hours thereafter. Okay, this is about about chickenpox. Now we'll see about shingles. This shingles caused by herpes zoster affects the age group of 60 and beyond. Okay, it is nothing but a unilateral lesion present in a dermatome associated with very severe pain. Okay, this is a picture depicting the shingles. Clear? So this shingles, the most frequently affected dermatome by this shingles is T3 to F3. Okay, and the zoster sign herpetica is nothing but it is a zoster without any skin lesion but associated with severe pain, and it is seropositive. That is, all the things of shingles are present except the skin lesion. Skin lesion will not be there in zoster sign herpetica, but there will be severe pain. There will be seropositive for shingles, that is herpes zoster, as well as there will be zoster infection, but the skin lesion will alone be not there. Okay, continue to the shingles. Zoster ophthalmicus, it is nothing but the reactivation of varicella zoster virus in the ophthalmic branch of trigeminal ganglia. See, this is a picture depicting you the zoster ophthalmicus. Okay, this is the infection due to the reactivation of the virus, that too when it infects the ophthalmic branch of trigeminal ganglia. Okay, the Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, it is a rare zoster infection occurring or affecting the facial nerve especially, with eruption in the tympanic membrane as well as external auditory canal, often associated with facial palsy. See, this is a picture depicting you the Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. It is a vesicular rash on the external ear, you can see, and low motor neuron paralysis of facial nerve, loss of taste sensation over anterior two-third of the tongue. So these are the features of Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. And also the patients with Hodgkin's disease and non-Hodgkin lymphoma are at greater risk for developing these herpes zoster infection. This is about shingles. Now we'll move on to the lab diagnosis of varicella zoster virus. Zank smear, as I already discussed in the herpes simplex virus, it will detect the multinucleated giant cell. As you see in this picture, the Zank smear will detect this is a multinucleated giant cell. This is the detection of Zank smear. And these varicella zoster virus infections can be confirmed by isolating the virus from the vesicle and inoculating into tissue culture cell lines, or the detection of DNA by PCR. So these two tests are the confirmatory test for varicella zoster virus. And by serology, the viral antigen can be detected by scraping from the lesion by ELISA and PHAMA. What is PHAMA? Is fluorescent antibody to membrane antigen test. Both these tests are most sensitive. Okay, these tests will identify the virus antigen. Clear? They will detect the virus antigen by serology. Okay. Now we will move to the prevention, that is vaccine. Live attenuated vaccine using OCA strains of varicella zoster virus is available. This vaccine is administered subcutaneously and it is given to children at 2 doses. First dose in 12 to 15 months and second dose in 4 to 6 years. This is about vaccine. This is VZIG. What is this VZIG? It is a varicella zoster immunoglobulin. This is very helpful for post-exposure prophylaxis. That is, this varicella zoster immunoglobulin may modify or prevent disease within 96 hours after exposure. What is this 96 hours? Within 4 days after exposure. That is, if you are infected today, until 4 days. Okay, after 4 days, if you go, this immunoglobulin will not prevent you. Within 4 days, today I am getting infection Sunday. Okay, within Wednesday or Thursday, if I go and give this injection, that is varicella zoster immunoglobulin, you will be prevented. Okay, so it is recommended for post-exposure prophylaxis. This varicella zoster immunoglobulin, and it gives passive protection against immunocompromised children and pregnant women who are exposed to that infection. Okay, this is for post-exposure prophylaxis. Remember, very important. Post-exposure prophylaxis. Now coming to the treatment. Okay, acyclovir therapy is recommended for chickenpox infection. Okay, um, and for herpes zoster infection, famciclovir and valacyclovir are more effective when compared to acyclovir. Okay, this is a case of varicella zoster virus infection. We'll read that. A 50-year-old HIV positive man developed vesicular eruptions on the right side of the spine in the lumbar region, which were very painful. Listen, in the lumbar region. Remember, when you say lumbar region, T3 to L3 dermatome affecting is shingles. Remember that. And the scrapings from the base of the lesions were positive for the varicella zoster antigen by direct fluorescent antibody test. This is the test. This is the pharma test. Okay, fluorescent antibody to membrane antigen test. They will scrape from the base of the lesion, and it was detected antigen. Okay. A culture from the fluid was inoculated on the cell lines and the PCR test was positive for varicella zoster virus. And the patient was treated with acyclovir. On further inquiry, the patient revealed to the doctor that he had chickenpox in childhood. So this is a case. It is a beautiful case, easily understandable for varicella zoster virus. And from this video, we had covered these two questions, that is, describe the pathogenesis and lab diagnosis of varicella virus and describe the pathogenesis and lab diagnosis of herpes zoster virus. For these two questions, the answers have been explained very clearly. Okay, and in my next video we'll see the next virus of the herpes virus family. Okay, um, bye and take care.